First question is from Kristen Hauk. Do you guys consider body types with training and nutrition?
Of all the things that I consider when I'm trying to individualize somebody's training and nutrition, at the top of the list is somebody's behaviors, their kind of mental state, psychology. Then I look at what's going to be the most effective considering those things. And way, way down the list is like body type.
Yeah, their taste in music may be about the same.
Yeah, it's such a general thing, like to look at someone and see someone's
great marketing tool, however.
It's not very effective. Now, it's effective marketing. I could put together programs based on quote unquote body types, and you're going to want to buy it because you'll identify with one of these, like, oh, this is me. This is for pear-shaped people or apple-shaped people.
Well, there's a lot of correlation that goes with it. That's why, because it's like, there's a lot of like when you look at somebody who is like an ectomorph. They tend to have a lot of things in common. They have lesser appetite. They seem to be more active people. They fidget a lot of time. They have smaller bone structure. And then, they're also really lean. And so I think there's a lot of correlation to that then you can then piggyback off of that and say, well, these body types need to eat this way, So it's...
Yeah, I wouldn't, even for yourself, number one, you want to look at like, what's realistic and doable for me? Like, what does this feel like for me? How do I feel about doing these things? What's realistic and doable? Then the next thing is considering that. So that's filter one. So think of it this way. Like you have a bunch of filters and you're putting rocks and sand and dirt through the filters. The first filter is to filter out the big rocks. And that is your psychology, your mental state. Like what is the most realistic for me to do consistently? Then the next filter is, now that I know that, what's the most effective considering those parameters? And then after that, then you can look at, male, female, body type, that kind of stuff. But by the time you get down to that filter, it really doesn't matter because the first two, the ones that I just labeled, are by far the most important. Will cover 99% of what you're looking to do. And there may be a % there left with body type stuff, but there's really not much. By the way, the whole body type theory was invented by a zoologist who tried to come up with a way to describe people.
Yeah.
That and by the way, in his descriptions include personality. This is where the whole like myth of like the fat jolly person came from.
Oh,
people
really?
Yeah. So people who are endomorphs tend to be happy and jolly, and people who tend to have, it's what's that one study of the skull where they study the bumps in the head, and then they try to tell you that your personality based on that. It's like along those lines. Wow. There's not much science behind it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's like astrology.